Hi, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. We've got a very, very interesting part of the building construction and a hotel planning segment for you today. So everything that we do here is to obviously produce award-winning projects, but also very high profitable projects. The ELLE is very special. But how do we just come up with an ELLE? How do we start planning for it? We get the very, very best people in from around the world to help us with every part of this particular construction and everything that we do. Today's guest is none other than Mr. Marc Schicker from Schicker & Co. And again, my absolute honor. I see you a lot. But I don't really get to interact with you. And it's important for me to interact with you now on the behalf of everybody that's watching, because you, Marc Schicker, have been in this industry for 30 years.
You're right.
Right.
Scary, isn't it?
Well, I think it lends a hand to say maybe you're passionate about it.
Yeah, you could say it.
Yeah.
I mean, originally I did all my training in New Zealand, structural and civil engineering, did the UK overseas thing, worked in London, came back to New Zealand, then moved to Singapore, where I really got into hotels, right? So I was in Singapore for 15 years, worked with a couple of architectural firms, and then joined IHG, Intercontinental Hotel Groups, as
huge.
Yeah.
Just give me some of their brands, by the way, because that's important.
Well, so starting at the top, obviously they have Six Senses, they have Regent, they have Intercontinental, Crown Plaza, Holiday Inn, Kimpton, Hotel Indigo, to name a few, but they've just grown as well over the years. So I headed their design and engineering team based in Singapore, and that covered Japan, Southeast Asia, Middle East.
But your role is to prepare their pipeline.
Yeah. So correct. They'd have a development team. The development team would then hand over that signed hotel to us as the technical team to help the owners design and build the hotel.
Yeah.
And make sure that they're engaging the right consultant. So since I left IHG, I've been in Bali now for 3 years, set up my own shop. But having said that, I'm working very closely with Geonet now and with the BOD. We're very keen to bring me on and help. So I'm delighted to come on board and sort of wear a Geonet hat at the same time.
Yeah.
And work with a few projects, but particularly the ELLE project. So that's really exciting.
When you think of the ELLE project, and obviously you've got inside information on every nut and bolt in the place, right? What are you bringing from IHG days, from your incredible days with the likes of Six Senses and Intercontinental Hotels Group and all of those incredible, illustrious branded hotels in the luxury segment?
Yeah.
How does that equate, or how does that translate into what we're doing with ELLE? What do you see as the pillars? Yeah,
so I think brand is really important, right? And having a narrative or a story. And so bringing in ELLE, and Cross Hotels as well to complement the project is a super good thing, because we want a story, right? We want to create a story. And the other thing is understanding who the target customer is. And because we're delivering a luxury product, we need to make sure that those customers are having a luxury experience.
Yes.
And so that means, and from all my years, is making sure that when you're a customer coming to the beach club or the resort, then you're getting that very super best service, delivery, food and beverage experience, whatever. And everything that happens to make those experiences happens behind the scenes, right? And so it's separate. It's very separate. The back of house, the front of house.
There's the guest experience and also the operational excellence and efficiencies.
Correct.
And obviously profitabilities that have to be considered years before.
Exactly. And so we're in that stage right now, right, where we're bringing in those super good consultants, whether it's MEP, structural, architectural, interior designers, to get that planning right in the first instance, just to your point, Mark, to make sure that the operational functionality, efficiencies, etc., we can do all of that, but also considering that those guest-facing areas as well, and making sure we've got all the right facilities and everything. Yeah. So that takes a lot of time and a lot of planning and a lot of people might think that construction, a hotel just pops up like that, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's a lot of pre-work.
And you'd hope so, right? Because what I was alluding to with your days in IHG and everything is there's brand guidelines, there's building standards, and yet there's all that bureaucracy beforehand to get to the right standards, but also the right, how do you put it there? The laws.
The regulations.
Regulations is the word that I'm looking for.
Yeah. So Bali, we have regulations here, right? Just like any other country.
It's very important to state that. A lot of people come over to Bali and they go, what's with all the bamboo? What's all just dumbing it down a little bit. They go, what's with all the bamboo? There's obviously no health regulations or health and safety regulations. In the tourism hospitality market, to a luxury segment, building on onto a hotel zoning area.
Yep.
Take me through what we would expect in a Western world that translates here.
Yeah, so actually to deliver a project like we're delivering is no different than any other country, to be honest.
Right.
And there's a long list of regulations that we need to comply with, whether it's architectural, zoning, height limits. You see in Bali that there's no super high rises, for example, and there's good reason for that. So there's height limits that we need to adhere to. There's setbacks. There's site coverage areas. And so we have to go through that whole permit process. They call it PBG here, which is the permit process. And it's just like other countries. You've got to submit all this documentation, right? And it's all different phases. Architectural drawings, mechanical, electrical, plumbing drawings, fire life safety drawings, structural drawings. Compared to Australia, Bali's in a seismic zone, right? New Zealand is, of course, similar, but Bali is quite a high seismic zone, so we're having to bring in top-notch structural engineers to support that and make sure that we're building for situations where there are shakes. Often. And so we're bringing in the right team. We're going to do soil tests. We're quite close to the ocean. Flooding is quite popular here, so we need to make sure that we're doing some flood surveys and make sure that we're designing, getting our levels right and make sure that we're mitigating against risk of flooding, for example. So all of these things contribute.
So in my day-to-day, I deal with investors face-to-face, and obviously they're either pre-investment or post-investment. All of their questions and concerns are just like anybody else's. Is it going to be built? When's it going to be built? How's it going to be built? And who's going to be building it? But really what we want to discuss right now is this de-risking of a submission to make sure it's successful, which is your forte. The reason why you're here.
Well, part of it,
You're part of it. Well, it's why you're here today. Like the submission of a building permit application isn't just a one-pager and just go, here's the drawings of the land, here's the drawings of the ownership, here's what we kind of want, sort of give and take. That's not really where we're going.
No.
You've got a team, you've got teams of many consultants under not just environmental, but structural, architectural, MEP, like we were saying as well. So some of the people that you've brought into this fold are award winners. Which
for good reason.
Which you would expect, right? Because we're doing something that should be an award-winning project and also delivered for longevity.
Absolutely.
Big priority.
Exactly. And we're building in quite a challenging climate as well, right? And so right by the sea, we're in a tropical climate. So it's getting the systems right, but it's also using the right materials as well, right? So back to your question around the submission process, like I touched on before. You're right. We brought in some great consultants, starting with Inspiral Architects, who
amazing.
I mean, Charlie and the team have been here a long time. They love their very organic forms, and yes, we're using some bamboo, but it's not all bamboo. There's a structural there's a structural concrete system in behind of that.
Absolutely. I make that very clear to my clients these days, that they see something that looks out of Avatar, right? Like it's really quite imaginative, and design wise, we're going to win awards. I'm absolutely certain of it. It's going to break some molds.
Yes.
Right? Break some molds.
Yeah.
Not only is it culturally appropriate the way that they're building, but essentially the bones of it are concrete and steel.
Yes.
And then we have what we call an exoskeleton. I call it the exoskeleton.
Yeah.
And those materials are sustainable products, but also very, very hard wearing.
Yes.
As I understand.
Yes.
Take me more into the materials and how they are. What is your process for choosing the materials and maybe flicking some or telling people that doesn't really meet the standards we're after. Remember what we're trying to do here, people. Sure, they're all professional, but give me a bit more insight into your...
Yeah, so in terms of an architecture, you're right, it's a steel roof, and then the very organic forms is made up of various elements, right? And so there's insulation layers, and then there's a bitumen type roof on there, and to help create the form and things, but of course, insulation is a key component because we're in a very high, humid and quite temperate climate. So we need to consider those things. And then we want to be, from an AC point of view as well, if you're in the room, you don't want all the cold air disappearing as well outside, and we want to be efficient in our system design as well. So I think selecting materials, they need to withstand the harsh weather conditions. And whether it's salt spray coming off the sea, or the sun, or the rain, and the wind, and the humidity is a big challenge here in Bali. Mold and all of these sort of things. So it's bringing the right materials, and a lot of those materials are actually natural materials, like bamboo or timbers or teak wood, or because they've lived naturally in the environment for donkey's years, right? And so why not use those materials? We know stone materials,
composite materials as well.
We are using composite materials because we've got to use our smarts sometimes, and
the elements as well, right?
Correct, but even improving them, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, the interior design now, we're looking at sort of countertops that are lava stone that's got a coating on it so it can stand heat. It can stand, quite high impact. So these things really help us from a longevity point of view, because we don't want to be replacing them in 5 years' time, right?
That's right.
And then
we see that a lot in Bali.
Yeah.
We see that a lot with deterioration.
Yeah.
Even if it's well maintained, if you're building for profitability, efficiency, fine. Sustainability, absolutely. But profitability means that you've got to choose the right materials to last you through. Otherwise, it can be a very, very tough cost to swallow down the track.
Yeah, correct. And so, I mean, the key thing I sort of message to the design team is floors, walls, and ceilings. We need to get those right in the first place, because we're not going to be replacing those in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
But whereas furniture, like soft furniture, FF&E, we call it, they have a little bit more regular replacement cycle, right? But they're pretty easy to change.
Yeah.
And those soft things, that really supports that guest experience I was talking about earlier, right? Nothing worse than seeing a mouldy cushion, for example.
Right, yeah.
So that's easy to replace. But having said that, we choose fabrics and materials that can withstand outdoor. So at the beach club, for example, we will use outdoor fabrics.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that they can be washed down, and the sun lounges, for example, all the foam is quick dry foam, which, they dry quickly and they can be reused quickly and for the next customer. So all of these things we need to think about.
In projects on this island, but also projects that our consultants have done on this island, and obviously for yourself as well, and maybe even globally, let's zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's been how many hotels built in the group of our consultants, including, you know what I mean?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of hotels.
Yeah. Hundreds.
This team's gotten hundreds of hotels out the ground.
Yeah. If you combine the architect, the structural, and MEP engineer who are, Becca from Jakarta, but they're a New Zealand company.
Go the Kiwis.
Yeah, go the Kiwis.
Go with the Kiwis.
Yeah, no bias there, but
None at all.
they've got offices in Australia as well, so they're a great team, and we decided to use the same firm for MEP and structure, just to get some efficiencies, for good collaboration. The design team, architecturally and MEP structure, they model the whole project in 3D.
Right.
So they use software and they share the models together to work out any clashes.
Yes.
And so that's all part of the coordination process, because you can see from the architecture it's very organic.
Yeah.
So to try and imagine that in 2D is a bit challenging.
Yes.
So we want to capture all of those clashes and things early on. So 3D modeling is great.
And again, we were talking about hundreds of hotels done, but how many permits have the team gone through before? Or PPG or building planning permits? Or, building permits.
Yeah.
How many applications do you think the team's done before?
Oh, well, I mean, amongst all the people and maybe previous firms, it could,
How many projects do you think?
It could be in the thousands, to be honest.
Wow.
I mean, they've all got a great portfolio, and I think that's available to share. All the resumes of all these people and consultants, and they've worked on some great projects. So they know we have a PBG consultant to help us. So they're sort of that in-between person between Geonet and the authority.
Yeah.
And so that PBG consultant, he's working with all of us and the consultants know what they need to submit.
Of course they do, yeah.
But there's a long, long, long list, right?
And it's got to be coordinated, so at certain times, certain things might need somebody else to say, right, I need this before I can put my little bit in, because they kind of intertwine or overlap.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. And that's why we're bringing in the interior designer right now. Not that they need to submit their documentation for permit.
Yes.
But they need to contribute their spatial planning to allow the architect and the engineers to get, like, for example, where are we going to place the stairs?
Yeah.
And we just had a conversation today around this.
Yeah.
Can we move that stair in that lobby over there because we get a better, the intended layout wants to be like this, for example.
Yeah.
And that's why we need the interior designer to come on.
So we're months into this now. And I also remember just a couple of weeks back for another project, all of the stakeholders were in one room together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought, so for me, I'm seeing things from a bird's eye position now, which I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
The genius that I don't necessarily get exposed to is now all around my office.
Yeah.
It's all around me. They're in for every second day, a different team, and we've got Collier's upstairs.
Yeah.
So Collier's project management. How do you feel about working with them? What strengths do they bring?
Yeah, great. I mean, Collier's an international firm. I mean, everyone knows Collier's, right?
Yeah.
So we brought them on board to be sort of project manager and construction manager. So that's great, sort of end to end.
Yes.
Take a little bit of accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's great having them in the office. I mean, I'm talking to them every day and having them really helping us drive the schedule, the master schedule, the program, keeping things ticking by.
Yeah. They're very ambitious.
Of course.
With their timing
Yes.
and with their planning. Do you find that some of them are in their timelines or in their Gantt charts and their program, in their timeline programming? Do you find some of them are a little bit too gung-ho? You have to sort of go.
Yeah, we do. Mate. We're going to pull the reins back a little bit and just, I mean, at the end of the day, anyone can do a Gantt chart or, and go, oh, well, you can do this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you've got to be realistic as well, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's no point saying you're going to deliver it by then and then things get pushed out and delayed.
Right.
Blah, blah. That's no good for anybody. So I think you've got to have a little bit of realism injected into the conversation.
That helps.
And we've just got to be sensible about it, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, we are reliant on like these PBGs. Some of the things are out of our control, right? And so we submit things to the authority. We don't know exactly how long. It's not like, we'll give you a response in 7 days. It doesn't quite happen like.
Of course not.
So,
and it's not a multiple choice application form.
No.
Right?
No, exactly.
It's not sitting it's not sitting an exam and going, how many did I get right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not at all.
No, I agree. It's a consultation process with the authority.
Yeah.
So it's not like, are we going to get a permit? It's when we're going to get a permit. Because with the team that we've got and the processes we're putting in place, we're super confident we know we're going to get permit.
Exactly.
It's just when we're going to get it.
That's right.
And it's just going through the process of doing it.
But, okay, so we know we're going to get it. Things that we can do until then. On site, what does it stop us from even putting foot on site, or like what happens? And we've got some other things we've got to do on site.
Yeah, correct. So there's a bit of demolition work to do, so we can crack on with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've got to do all the soil tests and the flood tests and all that sort of thing. So, and then we're going to build a mock-up room.
Yes.
So we're going to build a mock-up room on site. And that we always do a mock-up room for hotels, and so that allows us to test the room, right? Because if we've got 100 rooms, for example, you don't want to make 100 mistakes on what, if that particular side table or the ergonomics of an area of a room, we get it wrong 100 times over, then there's no point. That's just.
Where's that one going to be, by the way? Will it be right next to the sales pod?
Yeah, that's the plan.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh. So we're going to do one for the suites and one for the resort. So there'll be 2 mock-up rooms actually.
Wow.
And so that gives everybody a chance to look, see, feel.
I'll wait for this, Mark.
So that'll come next year.
Yeah.
Around the middle of next year.
Cool.
So there's things always happening, right? And then the interior design is obviously continuing, and then the F&B, food and beverage restaurant designs, that comes along, and then we're going to bring in AV and lighting expert from. We've got some people in mind from around the world that have done great nightclubs and beach clubs around the world. So they'll come on board, and so there's a sort of layers of consultants as well. Yeah. And we just bring them in at the right time to support the project.
Just a hair-brainer, but AV in a beach club, does that go towards a submission for PPG? No. There's actually. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's layered. Yeah. Very, very thick. Yeah, especially when you've got something as complex as a beach club. Yeah. Massive beach club. Yep. Retail. Yep. Event space. Yep. Beach and grill. Yep. Resort. Yep. Restaurants. Everything else.
So yes, AV is one of those things in there that the authorities want to know about. And, sort of impact on the environment, noise pollution, all of that sort of thing. Right? So how we mitigate that.
And it can be done.
Of course. And we'll bring in acoustic consultant as well. So that'll help with, like, the nightclub, for example.
Downstairs is going to be pretty soundproof.
That'll be soundproof.
Because we're going, okay, so you may or may not know, but if you have looked at some of our drawings and some of the renders, etc., you'll find that there's a huge nightclub at ELLE where it's underground. That's mind-blowing because it's huge enough as a beach club, right? It's huge enough as a beach club. Then you've got retail, but then you've got a huge basement.
Yep. Yeah.
And also we're raised in a in a tiered fashion.
Correct.
So we're gaining some height and some ground.
Yes.
For a huge big event space.
Yeah, it's actually good planning where we've sort of terraced those pools, like you say, and then we're sandwiching in the nightclub underneath there. So it's pretty cool, actually.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of the references that he's given you have been absolutely incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
And with the help of Charlie and that team, obviously, to visualize it. Yep. But then there's you that drives our vision for highest profitability and how to fit that into it.
Yep.
So give me some of these references that have gone, okay, Q.
Yeah. So one of the references, I guess, was Chad was very keen to have this VIP type lounge, for example, up at level 2, right?
For investors.
Yeah, exactly.
For
and for the people that are staying in the suites, we wanted to give them an exclusive venue if they choose to go there. Right?
Yeah.
So I was back to my earlier point where you almost need to segregate the guests somewhat, and the services behind, and then you've got your general day club guests, and then you've got your VIP or your suite guests, right? So we want to have a little bit of separation, right? So when you're arriving to the beach club, we put in a very private, exclusive VIP elevator. So when you arrive, you get escorted by the staff to go down to this secret sort of elevator, and it whisks you up 3 floors to the VIP lounge, right? And we don't have a reception front desk per se for the suite. It's very personalized and tailored, and so you get whisked up and then you go to your room, or you can check in at the VIP lounge. You see the view, and you've got your own pool there and everything.
With literal bird's eye views of 5 terraces.
Correct.
Of entertainment.
Correct.
That beautiful sunset.
Yes.
Jimbaran to the left.
Yeah.
Canggu to the right.
Yeah, exactly. So that was just one example of, okay, taking Chad's vision, how do we operationalize it, right? How do we, so there's many examples. If we drilled into the planning of it, it's quite a challenging site, sort of an L shape, right? And so L shape.
Yeah.
It's been really challenging, and working with Inspiro and other consultants, and now we're getting into the interior design. That's going to be another
part of the job.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. I can see that. I can see that in your passion, but I've also seen it in the other stakeholders. I know that Charlie's and his team of wizards are amazing, but you've gone into really the boring, as far as I'm concerned. Mechanical is boring, so's electrical, so's plumbing, but to be honest with you, that's a world up behind the facade.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Which is absolutely key.
Yeah.
I want to just quickly touch on sustainability. There's some interesting things that have just happened in sustainability and in environmental application, or what do you call it, the UMDAL thing. You were talking to me earlier about energy.
Yes.
Give me some more information on what's just happened.
Yeah, so
Excuse me.
One of the biggest costs for hotels is energy costs.
Correct.
Because of the AC, that's a energy sucker, right?
Right.
And so we're trying to use natural ventilation as much as possible. But in a luxury hotel, guests want to be able to come back to their room and have air conditioning, and fair enough. I agree.
I agree too.
So we're trying to make sure that with the systems that we're designing are as energy efficient as possible.
Right.
One of the new regulations that's come into Bali is the use of renewable energy.
Yeah.
And
Go Bali.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great. And so renewable energy here most likely means the use of solar panels.
Yep.
And so we're just working with the consultants now on how we would locate those solar panels on the roof. And so Charlie and the team are looking at that right now. And that will contribute, obviously, that the energy the energy gained from the sun, of course, will go straight, and it's only during the day. So the percentage will be obviously supplemented. The most of it will come from the grid. But we're likely not to store that energy off the roof, because the batteries are still quite cost prohibitive at the moment. But it's a relatively small percentage, so we'll put that straight into the system, and then we'll top it up with the PLN, the local.
I find that relieving. My clients find that relieving as well. Where the environmental effect that tourism is having has got to somehow start creeping into regulation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like to see that. I find that that's a step in the right direction for Bali.
Yeah, when I was at IHG as well, we had some quite good initiatives that we'd implement into hotels, and we're doing the same for ELLE. And so things like in the guest room, we are going to have a guest room management system. So there's no nowadays you put the key card slot in
Right.
And they leave the AC going all day, right? So you'll walk in and there'll be an occupancy sensor. So the lights will come on, the AC will go on.
Oh, right.
Then when you leave the room, the AC will drop back. So it doesn't turn off. It drops back to a certain temperature to make sure that still all the materials in the room and things are there's still some air circulating in the room, and it's still keeping the conditions reasonable, right?
Yeah.
And then so you go, and that'll drop back, the lights go off. Even sometimes the curtains close because of the heat gain on the glazing.
Wow. That's all integrated into a smart system.
All integrated into a smart system.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. So we're going down that path, and we'll show it in the mock-up room.
Yeah.
And how that'll work. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's cool. But all of these things, it's a win-win for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not, again, we do get those questions. Do you have your PPG? Do you have your building permits? Well, you know what? We're not building a villa.
No.
We're really not. We're building the next wave or the cutting edge version of the next tourism trends into Bali's last piece of beachfront on Seminyak, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And teams of probably altogether in all of the teams, there's I would say, well over 50 people amongst all of those departments that you're talking.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more over here in Geonet, but just talking to the external contractors, you're doing an amazing job. We're really, 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 really privileged and honoured to have you on board, and you're a great source of fun as well. And classic all the way. So thank you for dropping in. Thank you for speaking to our investors about what is behind the planning of a beautiful hotel and entertainment precinct. And we know they're in good hands.
Pleasure's all mine, Mark.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
Appreciate you. So thanks again for dropping in. I hope this is of some kind of use for you. I hope this was informative for you. For us, this is a thrill. We know that there's a lot that you've got to look forward to, but it's in good hands. And in fact, what was really interesting about all of that information was it's going down the right path sustainability-wise. It's going down the right path environmental-wise. It's being taken care of by the world's best in their respective fields, and they have 100% hit rate. Thousands, as you heard, thousands of building permits have already been granted to them, and hundreds of hotels have already come out of this team. So we're here to let you know that we've de-risked it, and we are consistently with the right people. And what a thrill! I'm so happy about this. So again, mate, thank you.
Thank you.
Tune in again. I hope this was of good value too. Thanks again. Bye bye.